Namaskar. Very good afternoon, dear learners. I, Dr. Renu Tomar, welcome you as to discuss philosophy and education. Friends, in my last lecture also we talked about philosophy and education from the perspective that why foundation of philosophy is so important, particularly in the education subject. So we discussed that how it has been defined by different educationists and philosophers during different decades. And we also decided that the definition of educational philosophy as has been given by the different experts is also based upon not just the philosophical thinking, but also on the sociological perspective or the sociological situation of that nation or the world at large. Friends, we shall be discussing further about philosophy and education. It's not a new topic, but it's a new topic from the fact that today we are going to discuss why philosophy as a subject is important. Apart from that, we shall also be discussing what is the role of philosophy in education and how is it different from educational philosophy. So, we shall be talking about philosophy of education. In that, we shall be discussing isms, that is realism, existentialism, idealism, progressivism, all those isms which we have covered during our B.Ed, BA education, BLed, MA education, that would be discussed in today's topic. So, friends, I, Dr. Renu Tomar, welcome you back as to discuss philosophy and education. Now, friends, taking it up, what is education? Education, as we know, it's a systematic process. It is something which child or adult goes through as to acquire knowledge, experience, skill and sound attitude. This is something which makes a person civilized, and for a civilized and socialized society, education is only means and it is also a goal to make an individual perfect. So, education is a mean to make a person civilized, and that is why it is a goal of any society, any nation, any culture as to educate the people in a way that they turn out to be productive human being, civilized human being who can be of value as they grow up. Friends, now let us talk about teacher. What makes a teacher and how it is so relevant in the society? Teaching, as we know, is like salad. Just think about it. If we were to attend a party for any given holiday, the number of and variation to each salad recipe that might be present for the consumption could outnumber those present at the party. There are so many different ways to teach. So, just as we have different kind of salads, so that is how we can have different way to teach also. So, every teacher has a different kind of teaching that is decided by his attitude, his learning, his knowledge, his conditioning as a teacher, and it varies from circumstances to circumstances. And philosophy which is of the individual, of the nation, of the society at large, that is what is applied by the teacher to his or her classroom. So, in this way, if we understand education, education is something which have a positive impact on the world. It offers knowledge for consumption. In fact, as far as the teacher is concerned, it can be applied to anyone who imparts knowledge on any topic. That is why usually whenever we talk about teacher, we say that mother is the first teacher. And in fact, when we talk about many well-known figures, historically, philosophically or scientifically. For example, if we take example of Edison, then we say his only and the perfect teacher he had was his mother. So, it depends upon a situation of a person, and anybody can be a teacher, the person who imparts knowledge of any topic, who supports the student as to acquire knowledge, he or she has to be treated as a teacher. So, it is generally, as far as teacher is concerned, it is generally more focused on those who are to do that job, who are hired to do that job. That is why when we talk about teacher, we also say that they are instructors, they are trainers, they are teachers, and educator means all of them. The instructor, the teacher, the trainer, all are encompassed in the word educator. May it be from in the higher education, may it be in the school education. So, all the kind of a system of education, we have the teachers or educators who are there to educate the students or the learner, whosoever is ready to be educated. In imparting knowledge to our students, it is inevitable that we must take into account our own personal philosophies or pedagogies and determine not only how we decide what our philosophies are, but also is able to give the student what he or she is expecting or the nation is expecting. So, as far as philosophy of education is concerned, first thing which we have learned just now is that philosophy of education means the philosophy of the teacher, and the philosophy of the teacher is generally imbibed by the teacher from the culture in which one is conditioned, or it is imbibed by the value which is imbibed in the nation. As if we will take an example of India, it is the value. As far as India is concerned, all those values are there in the Constitution of India, and because they are there in the Constitution of India, the Constitution of India is the driving force. That is something which makes a teacher decides one's philosophy. So, we understand that philosophy is something which belongs to a teacher, and philosophy of education may either be the philosophy of the process of education or the philosophy of discipline of education. What do we mean by discipline? Like every discipline has a philosophy. Like if we take example of mathematics, it has got a difficult philosophical understanding. Similarly, if we talk of English, then it will have different kind of philosophical understanding. Like in mathematics, the person will be more concerned about, or the subject is more concerned about the rationality, the more concerned about the practicality aspect. And if we talk about the literature, then the person is more concerned about the imaginative perspective. So, the philosophy of the subject also vary from one subject to the another, and that is something which decides the aims, forms and methods which are adopted for different subjects. As we say, whenever we talk about the teaching of science, then we usually say that for the teaching of science, the best method is which is through teaching through doing, and for the literature or for the language, the best method is for hearing by role modeling. So, those are the perspective which are decided by the subject and the pedagogy. So, the pedagogy is also decided by the philosophy of that particular subject. So, the process of educating or being educated, it may be metadisciplinary, or it may be concerned about the concepts, aims and methods of the discipline. However, in the later case, that is in the case of concepts, aims and methods of discipline, it may be thought of as a part of the discipline, just as metaphilosophy is thought of as a part of philosophy, although the philosophy of science is not regarded as a part of science. Historically, philosophies of education have usually taken the first form, but under the influence of analytical philosophy, they have sometimes taken the second. As far as philosophy of education is concerned, that is a branch of philosophy that addresses philosophical questions concerning the nature, aim and problems of education. The most basic problem of philosophy of education is that is concerning aims, and we discussed in our previous lecture also that who and what decided the aims. The aims are decided by the philosophy of the culture, the philosophy of the nation, even the socio-political status of the nation is also something which decides the aim of that particular philosophy of education. So, as far as the proper aims is concerned or the ideals of education is concerned, that is decided by philosophy of education. Philosophy, when we talk about the what we are going to discuss today we shall be discussing the relation between philosophy and education. We shall also be discussing philosophy of educational philosophy, that is why educational philosophy has come into being, what is its reason and how is it relevant to the subject. We shall also be talking about education as a liberal discipline and its interdisciplinary nature. Apart from that, we shall also be talking about what is relation of philosophy of the education to the philosophy, and in that we shall be discussing that how basic isms have come up. Isms means how the philosophy has had an impact on education from differing from the time of Aristotle to the Rousseau, John Locke. So, we shall be discussing how the things have varied in education because of philosophy of education. Philosophy of education was traditionally developed by philosophers, for example, Aristotle, Augustine and John Locke, as a part of their philosophical systems in the context of their ethical theories. However, in the 20th century, when philosophy of education tended to be developed in the school of education in the context of what is called foundation of education, it linked the other parts of discipline of the education, that is educational history, psychology and sociology. Rather than remaining the part of philosophy, all of them became part of the education, and this is how the foundation of philosophy came up. So, now let us talk about the relation of philosophy of education to the philosophy further. Taking it further, we have to understand that what are the philosophical questions? The philosophical questions which concern education, because they are very high on the philosophical agendas. For example, if we take example of Socrates, Plato and Aristotle, and we start thinking how it has progressed or it has changed from the time of Socrates to 20th century, let us try to understand that all the philosophers or all the educationists have viewed the education or philosophy of education as per their situation, or epistemology, metaphysics and philosophy of mind. So, they were the basically ideas when the John Locke or Russell or John Dewey gave a thought to the education, or they reveled upon the problems of education and they gave new kind of ideology with the context of education. Now, let us try to understand that how they have done it. When it comes to language, moral and socio-political philosophy, it had a huge impact on the philosophy of education, and same is true of most of the figures of the Western philosophical tradition like Augustine, Aquinas, Locke, as we talked about Hume, also, Mill also, Kant also, Descartes also. So, all of them were impacted by the socio-political and moral philosophy. This is something, friends, we have to remember whenever we talk about philosophy of education or the impact of philosophy or its changing perception as far as philosophy of education is concerned. There are 2 points which we have discussed till now. Let me repeat them again. One is that the socio-political scenario had an impact on thinking of the philosophers, and accordingly the new theories have been given. Secondly, we would term it as a progression, because whatever was given by Plato, that is as much relevant as something which has been given by Rousseau or existentialist. So, we have to remember that it is a progression as far as philosophy is concerned, and the educational perspective of philosophers is concerned, that has helped us to decide the aims and goals of various learning, we can say the aims of education, and accordingly decide the teaching methodology also, and accordingly decide the pedagogy also. And another thing which we have to remember is that there is the aspects like the metaphysics and all which were part of philosophy initially, they became part of educational philosophy, and foundation of education slowly and steadily became a very strong subject, and it started having an impact on the education as an independent subject. So, philosophy has travelled to become foundation of education. Another thing which we need to understand is that whenever we pursue the philosophical questions concerning education, it is partly dependent upon investigation of more familiar core areas of philosophy. For example, question concerning curriculum. It routinely depends upon the epistemology and philosophies of various curriculum subjects. According to what criteria should specific curriculum content be selected? Should all students be taught the same content? These are the questions which are usually questioned in philosophy. So, this is how the philosophy has an impact on education. Then there are questions concerning learning, thinking, reasoning, belief, and these are typically dependent upon epistemology, ethics and philosophy of mind. For example, under what condition is it desirable or permissible to endeavor to change students' fundamental beliefs? To what end and should students be taught? If they should be taught to reason or not? and if they are to be taught to reason, at what age they should be taught to reason. Then there are questions concerning the nature of and the constraints governing teaching, often depending upon ethics, epistemology, as well as philosophies of mind and language. For example, is it desirable or is it permissible to teach mainstream contemporary science to students whose culture or comments reject it? Should all students be taught in the same manner? How are permissible teaching practices distinguished between impermissible one? Similarly, there are questions concerning schooling which are frequently dependent upon ethics, socio-political philosophy and social epistemology. For example, assuming that school have a role to play in the development of ethical citizen, should they concentrate on the development of character or rather on the righteousness or wrongness of particular action? Then there are questions like, is it permissible for school to be in the business of formation of student character? Given liberalism reluctance to endorse particular conception of the good, should school be constituted as a democratic communities? Do all students have a right to education? So these are the questions which are taken by different branches of philosophy, and which branch will take which question, this is decided by the aspect of the education. For example, when we talk about talking about the nature and constraints governing teaching, then we were dependent upon ethics, epistemology or the philosophies of mind and language. And when we talk about that how the students are to be taught, or how the what kind of role does the school are going to play in the case of student, that is schooling, importance of schooling, then these questions were dependent upon ethics, socio-political philosophy and social epistemology. So from here what we conclude is that these are the different part and parcel of philosophy as a subject, which come and play different and important role in the aspects of education. In schooling there are different kind of questions, and those questions are governed by the different aspects of philosophy as a discipline. Then there are questions related to teaching, and there are questions related to teachers. They are also governed by the different kind of thinkings. So to what extent, if such an education obliged to respect the belief of all group, when we talk about this question, this sort of dependence on the parent discipline, then the philosophical questions concerning education were ethical in nature. When we talk about that whether the education should be obliged to respect the beliefs of all group, and to what level that respect should be allowed. So these were the questions which were decided by the philosophy as a discipline, and in that also the ethical philosophy was the one which was deciding these questions. And when we talk about these questions, we also remember that every nation has a philosophy, and who encompasses that philosophy? It is constitution. For example, in case of India, when we talk about it, we are secular. What is it? It is philosophy of India, which is imbibed in constitution, and that is something which is to be followed in the education as a system. In education as a system, that philosophy will be playing different role in the case of deciding pedagogy, that is curriculum, in deciding the teaching, in deciding the role of schools, in deciding the expectations from the students or aim of education. So we understand that philosophy as a discipline is important, is very important, because that is a discipline which makes us think, and because it makes us think, so it plays a very important role in education. We shall be further understanding it more when we will be focusing on how it has been taken by different philosophers and how they have read its importance in the system, in the education system of their times. So we have to understand that whenever we talk about philosophical tradition, it means that educational matter is the focus of inquiry for them, and that is a fundamental question, that education is a fundamental question for those philosophers. For example, those concerning the aim of education, the character, the desirability of the liberal education, indoctrination, moral and intellectual virtues, the imagination, authenticity and other educational matters, they are to be decided by philosophical interest, and they are intertwined with more standard core areas and issues. Those will be decided by philosophy of the nation, where, as we said, that is currently imbibed in our constitutions. So, next concern which philosophy as a discipline has is a variety of issues involving thinking, reasoning, teaching, learning. As Richard Feldman discusses epistemological aspect of thinking and reasoning, and he states that they are the manifestation in the educational context. The third section which focuses is on the moral value and the character education, that is also thought of by the philosophy of education. What are types of philosophy of education? As to understand that, we will have to understand that we have many kind of philosophy of education, as we have many ways of philosophizing. Each one of us have a different philosophy, and so we have different ways of philosophizing, and so there are many kind of educational philosophy also and ways of doing it. In a sense, there is no such thing as a philosophy of education. There are only philosophies of education that can be classified in the different ways. So, philosophy of education as such does not describe, compare or explain any enterprise to the system of education, past or present, except insofar it is concerned with the tracing of its own history. It leaves such inquiries to the history and sociology of education. Analytical philosophy of education is meta discipline of education. It inquires and provides thinking about the education in a sense that it does not seek to propound substantive proposition, either factual or normative, about education. In fact, it conceives its task as that of analysis, the definition or the elucidation of educational concepts like teaching, indoctrination, ability, trait, including the concept of education itself. The classification and criticism of educational slogan like teach children, not subjects. So, where does it come from? It comes from the philosophy. The exploration of models used in thinking about education, for example, growth, as we know, that is it's an aspect of educational psychology. So, who explores those models, who analyze those models, who evaluate those arguments and methods used, and finally reach certain conclusions about education. It is either done for the teachers or for the administrators. This is done by the philosophers, and this is what philosophy of education is about. Then philosophy of education is also about accomplishing analytical philosophy using the tools of logic and linguistic, as well as teaching of analysis that varies from philosopher to philosopher. So, as a result, it is valued for its own sake. So, we have to understand that philosophy is helpful to those who seek more substantive, empirical of normative conclusions about education, and who try to be careful about how they reach them. So, as far as entry is concerned, this entry in itself is an exercise in analytical philosophy of education, and normative philosophy or the theories of education may make use of the result of such analytical work or of the factual inquiry about human being and the psychology of learning. But in this case, when we try to understand that, we try to understand what are the dispositions which are to be cultivated, how it is to be utilized, how it is to be formed, how it is to be taken. This is something philosophy of education is about. It talks about implicitly assuming that certain dispositions are desirable and that certain methods are to be used in acquiring or fostering them, and it is based upon the assumptions that we come down to the theories of philosophy, because philosophy of education begins with assumptions. So, we have to understand that as far as theories are concerned, they are to be regarded properly as philosophical, and they are to be understood in the perspective of education. On this note, friends, I take your leave. I shall be joining as to discuss the isms as well as the role of Plato, Socrates, Aristotle in the development of education. So, we shall be discussing different philosophers and their role in the education during their time. On this note, I, Dr. Renu Tomar, is signing off to join you again in the second part of the series. Thank you. Namaskar.